The story kicks off with a young boy named Noor. Life hasn't been easy for him. His father has already passed away, leaving him alone with his mother. For the past few days, Noor's mother has been struggling with a very serious illness. Noor is a devoted son, doing everything in his power to take care of her and serve her every need. His mother felt a deep sense of regret in her heart, feeling like she hadn't been able to provide enough for Noor. But her one true wish was for him to go out there and fulfill every single one of his dreams. One evening, Noor prepares some warm soup and brings it to his mother, only to be hit with the devastating realization that she has passed away. With a heavy heart, Noor buries his mother right there, side by side with his father. Now, Noor is truly all alone in this world. He continues to live deep in the forest, and over time, he's learned how to handle every single household chore and survival task on his own. Then, one day, Noor stumbles upon an old book that belonged to his father. This was the same book his father used to read to him when he was just a little kid. He used to tell Noor these epic tales about legendary adventurers. Noor remembers asking him, "Dad, what exactly is an adventurer?" His father would explain that an adventurer is someone who teams up with their friends to slay massive, fire-breathing dragons, or someone who learns powerful magic spells from an ancient wizard to lift a dark curse from the forest. He told Noor that no matter how massive the obstacle or how terrifying the danger, an adventurer is someone who draws their sword and stands their ground against every hardship. That, he said, is what it means to be an adventurer. Right then and there, Noor makes a big decision about what he wants to do with his life. He goes to the memorial of his mother and father and tells them that he is leaving town for the very first time because he is determined to become an adventurer. He makes sure his pet chicken and goats have plenty of fodder to eat, and then, he finally leaves his childhood home behind. The next day, Noor arrives at the royal capital, which was this absolutely massive, bustling city. Noor heads straight to the guild master and tells him flat out that he wants to become an adventurer. The master looks at him and says, "Look, kid, this place isn't for children. You need to head back home. Your parents are probably worried sick about you." Noor quietly tells him that both of his parents are dead. Hearing this, the master feels a wave of pity for the boy. He tells Noor that if he really wants to be an adventurer, he first needs to enroll in a training school to get some real experience, because to be an adventurer, you've got to have some actual skills like casting magic or high-level swordsmanship. Noor's first stop is the swordsmanship class because he wants to be able to take down giant dragons with a single strike. He starts his sword training with high hopes. All around him, other students are swinging swords that are literally shooting out fire and lightning. But when Noor swings his sword, nothing happens. Absolutely nothing. A few months go by, and Noor hasn't managed to learn a single special skill. His teacher eventually calls him over and tells him that it's time to give up on his training. He tells Noor that after all these months, the only thing he's managed to learn is a basic parry skill. Now, for those of you who don't know, a parry is just blocking an enemy's attack and pushing it away from you. The teacher wanted Noor to find a different path in life because, in his eyes, the boy had zero talent for the sword. Next, Noor tries his luck at the warrior school, where they teach you how to fight with every weapon imaginable. Here, Noor is put through some incredibly brutal physical training. After a few more months, the teacher there tells him, "Look, Noor, your body has definitely gotten stronger, but you still haven't picked up any actual skills. You need to pack your things and leave." Not giving up, Noor heads to the hunter school, but the second he picks up a bow, he accidentally snaps it in half. Then he tries the thief school, but Noor can't even disable a simple trap near a treasure chest, so being a thief was clearly out of the question. Eventually, Noor makes his way to the wizard school. But even there, after months of trying, the most Noor could do was produce a tiny flame from his finger about the size of a candlelight. Finally, he tries the cleric school. Here, Noor does manage to learn how to instantly heal minor scratches and bruises, but it was considered a very mediocre, low-level skill. Noor leaves that school feeling pretty discouraged too. He goes back to the guild master and explains that he spent 3 months training at every single school, but he still hasn't learned any real skills. Because of that, the master tells him he simply can't hire him for any adventurer jobs. Feeling like he's just not good at anything, Noor heads back to his home in the forest. But here's the thing, he refuses to give up. He thinks to himself, "So what if I don't have natural talent? I'm just going to take the one skill I actually know and train it until I can't train anymore." His old swordsmanship teacher once mentioned that if someone practices a single skill over and over again, they might eventually master something new. Since the only thing Noor learned from that class was how to parry, he carves a wooden sword and starts training with it day and night, non-stop. After about a year of this intense training, Noor is able to parry 10 incoming swords all at once. 3 years in, he can parry 100 swords in a single move. But he still doesn't gain any new legendary skills. Even though it looks like his dream of being an adventurer is going to stay just a dream, Noor keeps pushing. He trains in total isolation, and before he knows it, 14 long years have passed. Noor is all grown up now. He's reached the point where he can parry 1,000 swords in one go, yet he still hasn't unlocked any flashy new abilities. Deciding to give it one last shot, Noor heads back to the guildmaster and lists out every skill he has: parry, physical enhancement, stone throwing, feather step, low heel, and tiny flame. These are all considered bottom tier, basic skills. The assistant at the desk tells Noor he should probably join a training school, and Noor tells her he's already been through all of them. The assistant then tells him that if that's the case, she can't register him. Just then, the guild master walks in. At first, he doesn't even recognize Noor. Noor explains how he's been training alone for the last 14 years but has only managed to slightly improve his parrying skill. The master explains that adventurers are ranked from S rank at the top down to E rank at the bottom. He tells Noor that to even qualify for E rank, you need more than one useful skill, which Noor just doesn't have. Noor is totally crushed and thinks that maybe it really is time to throw in the towel. But the master starts to feel bad for him. He tells Noor there is a rank even lower than E rank, it's called F rank. Hardly anyone even knows about it. In this rank, you can't go on any real adventures or quests, you basically just do odd jobs and chores around the city for a little bit of pocket change. This rank was actually made for beggars just to give them some work, and it definitely doesn't involve any adventure or action. Noor doesn't care. He tells the master he's ready for F rank. The master registers him, and Noor is genuinely happy just to see his license. He starts taking on small jobs, like carrying heavy loads using his physical enhancement skill, or chasing down someone's runaway cat, which ends up leaving scratches all over his face, but he just heals them up with low heel. This becomes his daily routine, and every evening, he still goes back to practicing his parrying. Noor honestly feels like his dream of being an adventurer and helping people is coming true. Even though he was basically just doing manual labor, he was totally satisfied with it and didn't ask for anything more. The next day, Noor goes to an elderly woman's house to clean out a drain in the alley, and then he goes to work at a construction site. Nearby, there was this massive cave, and suddenly, Noor hears a girl's voice screaming for help from inside. Noor drops everything and sprints into the cave. There, he sees a girl trapped in some kind of magical spell, and she looked just like a princess. Standing right in front of her was a terrifying monster known as a minotaur. It's a legendary creature with the head of a bull and the body of a man, but Noor has no clue about any of that. He literally thinks it's just a really big cow. The monster starts closing in on the princess. Her guards were trying their best to defend her, but the monster was just picking them off one by one with its massive axe. After taking out all the guards, the monster turns its attention back to the princess. Noor grabs a sword from one of the fallen guards and hurls a stone right into the monster's eye. The monster is furious now. It charges at Noor, trying to impale him with its horns, but Noor just parries the attack and tosses the monster aside. The monster then starts swinging its massive axe, but Noor just keeps parrying every single blow. Now, Noor is great at defending, but he doesn't have any actual attacking moves. When the monster tries to rush the princess again, Noor uses Feather Step to close the gap instantly and parries the strike, but his sword snaps under the pressure. Noor thinks to himself that even if he never becomes a legendary adventurer hero, he is absolutely going to protect this terrified girl. Using only his broken sword, Noor parries the monster's next massive swing. The force is so perfectly redirected that the monster loses its grip on the axe, and the weapon flies back and slices through its own neck. As the monster falls dead, the princess is finally freed. Noor exhales, thinking to himself that it was a really close call. He thinks, man, if I had that much trouble dealing with a regular cow, there's no way I'm ever going to be a world-class adventurer. The girl thanks Noor for saving her life and asks for his name, but Noor just heads out without saying a word. Turns out, the princess's name was Lin, and more guards soon arrive to find her. Meanwhile, Noor is walking away thinking, I had no idea a cow could be that dangerous. I definitely need to step up my training. And that's where the first episode wraps up. So, guys, what did you think of this first episode? Let me know in the comments. Personally, I think this story is getting really interesting. The main character is clearly overpowered, but he has absolutely no clue. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button and share it around. I'll be back with the next video very soon.